Hare Krishna. We'll start with the invocation prayers. Om Ajnanatirmirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurumitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manopistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapadakamlam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadutam Parijan Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamscha Hare Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sutta Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhu Bhaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, thank you all for coming. So today we will start discussing Sri Iso. Today we will cover key points from overview, introduction, invocation, as well as mantra number 1. And towards the end of our class, I will answer inquiries submitted by devotees from the last Nectar of Devotion class. So today we will populate the shell template that I had given you all. It's a straightforward template. You should all grab it now, or as we progress, you can draw it on a paper. So from our discussion that we had in Nectar of Instruction and Nectar of Devotion is the repeat discussion. The importance of 4 books that we study, which is Bhagavad Gita, Sri Iso, Nectar of Instruction, and Nectar of Devotion. These 4 books are enough to go back home to Godhead, as well as we do continue to read Srimad Bhagavatam and Chitranchatamrita for association with Srila Prabhupada and Krishna. So Bhagavad Gita and Sri Iso, they established that Bhagwan, Lord Shri Krishna, is the highest sadhya. Sadhya means goal, means where I have to go. And from the various processes, various paths to reach the goal, Bhakti is the highest sadhana, means highest process. Sri Iso establishes that absolute truth is a person, but Sri Iso does not use Krishna directly. So the invocation mantra that we will discuss today, it starts with Om Purnamada. Now, this invocation mantra does not state what is this Purnam that we are referring to. What is this referring to? Is it he? Is it she? Is it it? Is it they? Is referring to someone, but was it what it is they referring to is not stated in this verse. And Bhagavad Gita establishes that absolute truth is a person and Krishna is that person. So Sri Iso establishes sadhya, means the goal, and Bhagavad Gita establishes sadhya's identity, that it is Lord Shri Krishna. Sri Iso points towards bhakti, and Bhagavad Gita establishes bhakti is the easiest and the highest sadhana, the process. So nectar of instruction and nectar of devotion, they describe how bhakti is to be practiced. So the philosophical understanding is through Bhagavad Gita and Sri Isopanishad, and the practical application is through nectar of instruction and nectar of devotion. Nectar of instruction elaborates the process of bhakti and enables us to apply these principles in our day-to-day life. And nectar of devotion has deeper practical instruction on the speciality of bhakti rasa. Now, an overview of Sri Isopanishad. Take notes on a different page. I will let you know when to start populating the chart. So the overview of Sri Isopanishad. Sri Isopanishad is an Upanishad. And this Sri Isopanishad is also called Ishavasya Upanishad. We'll soon cover that today in mantra number 1. So the shlokas or the verses in Sri Isopanishad are called mantras. So in total, there is an invocation mantra, plus there are 18 mantras, so there are 19 mantras in total. Now, Upanishads are puzzling. So Upanishads are meant for intellectuals who like to speculate. So there is at least one devotee in our class who has the PhD background that I am aware of, who likes to go into deeper with like hair pulling tiny details. You're going to have fun with Upanishad, because Upanishads are actually meant for devotees like these intellectuals who like to speculate. So Upanishad books are generally a transition from Karma Kanda of Vedas through Jnana Kanda of Upanishad towards Bhakti. So those who are intellectuals and they like to speculate, so Upanishad takes them in that step-by-step process from Karma Kanda to Jnana Kanda to Bhakti. So in Karma Kanda, one is not too much concerned about who is God. In Karma Kanda, one is simply concerned about what all fruits I can get. My focus is on I. Upanishads are generally read by impersonalists. So when I say impersonalist is not necessarily referring to Mayavadis, but impersonalists are generally those who are Brahmavadis. And to help them understand, Upanishad teaches a personalistic conception of the Supreme Lord. So we'll soon read the back cover page of Sri Isopanishad book for this point. Plus, because Upanishads generally talk more about majestic conception of divinity, not the intimate conception of divinity. Hence, Srila Prabhupada also does not use the word Krishna frequently in Sri Isopanishad. Srila Prabhupada does use the word Krishna in Sri Isopanishad, but not as frequently as Srila Prabhupada uses the word Krishna in other books. So we will cover key points and key themes from Sri Isopanishad. In this Sri Isopanishad, Srila Prabhupada is heavily smashing Mayavadis. So Srila Prabhupada is providing guidelines on what is right and wrong, plus the results of following right versus following the wrong. Now, Sri Isopanishad book is a very tiny book, but don't get confused by the tiny size. The Sri Isopanishad book is heavier than Bhagavad Gita. When I was studying my Bhakti Shastri course, not only me, but the entire class was super confused with this Sri Isopanishad book, and we had to ask the teacher to explain Sri Isopanishad from the start again. It is very, very complex. So I have now simplified Sri Isopanishad for you all, that we will cover in 4 classes only. But it is very heavy, but we'll cover. I have simplified for you all, because not only that in my class I studied, not just me, all of us, we studied for the second time from this teacher. Then we studied for the third time among ourselves. We still say to our teacher, no, we don't understand this. We need a break here. So teacher gave us a break and said, okay, you take 2 weeks break and study among themselves. So we all students from our classes, at the same time of the class time, instead of teacher teaching us, we used to sit and discuss among ourselves to understand what exactly is Sri Isopanishad. And even after that, we didn't understand, and I actually went through researching a lot of lectures from various acharyas. Now I have some understanding, and therefore I have now simplified for you all. But essentially, this is a very heavy philosophy in a very tiny book. So we will now start populating the shell document that I had given you all. So you have, the document is divided into 3 broad sections. A is vision from invocation to mantra number 8. Then B is guidelines from mantra number 9 to 14. And C is prayers from mantra number 15 to 18. And the same 3 divisions, you can also divide it in another way, and therefore on your chart, you have space on the side to write the points. So as we go along, we'll populate, and I'll definitely be going slow and ask questions as we progress through this. I'll go slow because it definitely is very heavy topic. So Kunal Prabhu, we just started and we are about to populate the Sri Isopanishad shell chart. You can please grab the shell chart.
Yeah, sure. Hare Krishna.
So there are 3 broad categories. One is, A is vision from invocation mantra to mantra number 8. So invocation, you can write down besides invocation that this is foundation of knowledge of the Supreme. Then mantras number 1 to 3, you can write down practices for living entities. Now, each of these mantras also have a brief title, and those brief titles we'll discuss when we discuss those respective mantras. Right now, I'm just giving you an overview. So, invocation, we wrote foundation of knowledge of the Supreme Person. Then mantra number 1, 2, 3 is practices for living entities. Then mantras number 4 and 5 describe the knowledge of the Supreme Person. So rest, you can leave them blank right now. Just populate what gets highlighted on the screen. And then mantras number 6 to 8 is knowledge and practice of spiritual vision. Everybody with me so far?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. Now, the second part is guidelines, which is mantras number 9 to 14. Mantras number 9 to 11 is guidelines for knowledge. And mantras number 12 to 14 is guidelines for practice. And the last division, C, which is prayers from mantras number 15 to 18. Mantra 15 and 16 are prayers for knowledge, and mantra 17 and 18 is prayers for practice. So this is one division or one way of looking at the Rishi Ishopanishad mantras, meaning there are 3 divisions that you have vision, which is from invocation to mantra number 8. Then is guidelines from mantra number 9 to 14. Then prayers from mantras 15 to 18. And so invocation describes the foundation of knowledge of the Supreme Person. Mantras 1 to 3 are the practices for living entities. Mantras 4 and 5 are knowledge of the Supreme Person. Mantra 6 to 8 is knowledge and practice for spiritual vision. So this is all about vision. Then B part is guidelines, that mantra number 9 to 11 is guidelines for knowledge. And mantra 12 to 14 is guidelines for practice. And the last part is prayers. 15 and 16 are prayers for knowledge, and 17 and 18 are prayers for practice. Similarly, you can divide the Sri Upanishad another way. just a different view. So on your chart for the block besides a vision, you have a block where you can populate 2 points. One is obey the Ishvara. Second is know the Ishvara. Simultaneously, for where you have guidelines, you can look at it from a different angle. You again have point number 2 points, which is in sequence is point number 3, you can say, is point number 3 is cultivate the right knowledge. And point number 4 is do the right worship. And the last block, you have 1 point to write, which is do the right prayers to get his mercy. So everybody follows that obey the Ishvara and know the Ishvara. This is the vision. Then second part is cultivate the right knowledge and do the right worship. These are guidelines. And the third block about prayers is do the right prayers to get his mercy. Now, there are so many Upanishads, and Srila Prabhupada chose only Sri Iso for us. And the reason is on the back cover of Sri Iso book. So I request Annapurni to read the back cover of the book, and I also have on the screen, so you can read the first paragraph. So why Srila Prabhupada chose only Sri Iso for us to read from so many Upanishads is answered right here.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. The wisdom from ancient times. The Sanskrit words Sri Iso Upanishad means the knowledge that brings one nearer to the Supreme Person Krishna. As such, Sri Iso Upanishad directly counters the teachings of modern science, which say at the root of existence lies not a person, but merely abstract laws governing the chance collision of a subatomic particles in the vast void of time and space.
Right. So this is what scientists say that there's no supreme person behind material existence. It's just a chance collision of subatomic particles. Well, that is not true. So the reason why Srila Prabhupada chose Sri Iso for us is Sri Iso means the knowledge that brings us closer to the Supreme Person, Sri Krishna. Questions, comments, realization so far? Annapurni?
This is really nice, Prabhuji, the way you have broken it down and very direct. And I like the way Srila Prabhupada is just completely challenging the modern day scientists who talks about the collision of subatomic principles. It's like right at the foundation, at the grassroots, he's challenging it. Really nice. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Right. So we have also discussed the words Shruti and Smriti. So Shruti refers to the knowledge which is acquired by hearing, and Vedic knowledge means original knowledge. So what I'm discussing, the points now are there in Shishopanishad introduction. So this point about Shruti and Smriti is there in introduction. So Vedic knowledge means original knowledge. So Vedic knowledge is not compilations of human knowledge. Vedic knowledge is not experimental knowledge. Vedic knowledge comes directly from spiritual world, directly from Krishna. Therefore, the Vedic knowledge is not subject to any defects. Vedic knowledge is authentic source of knowledge compared to knowledge obtained through mind and senses. The knowledge that is obtained through mind and senses is contaminated with the 4 defects that we all humans have, and therefore is never perfect. And Smriti are elaborations of Shruti based on what great acharyas have internalized the teachings of Shruti. So Smriti refers to what is remembered, and Shruti refers to what is heard. So Shruti and Smriti are not contradictory, rather they are complementary. They teach us together. Another point explained in introduction are these 4 defects. So we have covered these 4 defects in Bhagavad Gita introduction also. So 4 defects are: one commits mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. Even great personalities in the material world make mistakes. Example, Mahatma Gandhi in India is considered a great personality. Even he committed mistakes. Second defect is we are illusioned. Illusion means to accept something which is not. This is Maya. Almost everyone accepts body as the self. This is illusion. And all bodily designations, such as I am Indian, I am American, I am male, I am female, all these are bodily designations. These are because of illusions. Third defect is cheating propensity. Everyone has the propensity to cheat. Srila Prabhupada describes that although everyone is illusion, although everyone makes mistakes, still they write theories. The person does not know his own position, but he is writing philosophy. Prabhupada says this is actually cheating. And most of the time, I don't even think that I am cheating. And the fourth defect is imperfect senses. I am proud of my senses. But I cannot even see my own hand when I am in a dark room. So what power or what ability do I have to see God? Due to the imperfect senses, we cannot see God. Therefore, we conclude that there is no God. When one starts identifying defects in one's own self, that is actually spiritual progress. So when you observe defects in yourself, don't beat yourself up. No, it's a very good spiritual progress, because you will progress only when you are able to identify the defects. Otherwise, how will you know you have a need to correct something? Another point explained in introduction is the three kinds of evidence, and which evidence is the best is described. Again, this is discussed in Bhagavad Gita at the start. It's a repeat point here. There are three kinds of how to get evidence. First is pratyaksha praman, means direct evidence using our senses. This is not very good because I have imperfect senses. In pratyaksha praman, we try to gain evidence using my imperfect senses. This is not perfect because of my imperfect senses. Second way to get evidence is anuman or hypothesis. When somebody says, oh, it may be something like this. Well, this is not science. It is just a suggestion. And this is also not perfect. And the third way to get evidence is Shabda Praman, means spoken words received through oral reception via parampara. If you receive knowledge from authoritative sources, that is perfect. So we cannot even go to the edge of the universe. Well, how can we know what is beyond this universe? Just recently, those who follow NASA or space, so some 40, 50 plus years, NASA had sent out this tiny satellite in space, and that satellite is just traveling and traveling and traveling. And NASA thinks that the satellite is about to reach the end of the universe. They are in illusion. Yes, the satellite has traveled very long distance, but it's too far away from the edge of the universe still, which they don't know. So we cannot even go to the edge of the universe. How can we know what is beyond the universe? Therefore, we have to hear from scriptures of what is beyond this world. So not any books. Rather, scriptures refers to original books such as Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Vedas, etc. So pratyaksha causes illusion and shabda takes one out of illusion. Last key point explained in introduction are two systems to receive knowledge. One is inductive method, which is the same as Anuman or hypothesis point that we just discussed a few minutes ago. And the second way to receive knowledge is deductive method, which is the same as Shabda Praman, meaning the top-down approach. That knowledge coming down from Krishna in disciplic succession, that is deductive method and the perfect way to receive knowledge. So if you try to attain knowledge by personal endeavor using my imperfect senses, you will not come to the right conclusion. So to understand this, Srila Prabhupada gives an example. Srila Prabhupada says that wanting to verify if humans are mortal or immortal, you accept this fact that humans are mortal based on what you hear from authority, or if you try to test this, you will have to test every single human. Well, you are bound to fail. So the conclusion of this discussion of the 4 defects, the 3 kinds of ways to get evidence, and the 2 systems of knowledge is that we need to hear from original scriptures. These are the key points from Sri Isopanishad introduction. Any questions, comments, realizations? All right, good excitement. So we will now cover the invocation mantra. So just as all scriptures have key memorization verses, in Sri Isopanishad, the invocation mantra and mantra number 1 are the key memorization mantras. So I will recite Sri Isopanishad invocation mantra, and then you all can unmute and recite one line after me, please. So both these key memorization mantras of Sri Isopanishad, meaning the invocation and mantra number 1, they are very beautiful to recite. You will soon realize, and you can also try to memorize these. They are actually very beautiful verses to recite. So I will recite Sri Isopanishad invocation mantra. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnam Eva Shyashyate. So all unmute and recite one line after me, please. Om Purnamada Purnamidam
Om Purnamada Purnamidam
Purnamadaha Purnamidam
Purnat Purnam Udachyate
Purnat
Purnamudachyate
Purnasya Purnamadaya
Purnasya Purnamadaya
Purnam Eva Avishyasate
Purnameva
Dhara translation.
Hare Krishna. The personality of Godhead is perfect and complete, and because he is completely perfect, all emanations from him, such as this phenomenal world, are perfectly equipped as complete wholes. Whatever is produced of the complete whole is also complete in itself. Because he is the complete whole, even though so many complete units emanate from him, he remains the complete balance. Hare Krishna.
So essentially the invocation mantra is basically the two words perfect and complete that it gets repeated so many times. So the invocation as we populated on our chart is the foundation of the knowledge of the Supreme. So this invocation mantra starts with Om Purnamada. But the invocation mantra does not say what is this Purnam. We read in the translation that it says the personality of Godhead is perfect and complete, but it doesn't say who exactly is this personality of Godhead. Is it referring to he, she, it, they? It's referring to someone, but what is it referring to is not stated in this verse. So at the absolute truth, the Supreme Person is not referred directly by a personal name. So these all Upanishads, they teach a personalistic conception of the Supreme Person so as to bring everyone closer to God. We read at the back cover of Sri Iso Upanishad that Sri Iso Upanishad will bring one closer to God. So Upanishads are puzzling. Upanishads are meant for intellectuals who like to speculate. So if you look at, if you give this mantra to some intellectual, this invocation mantra, they will dissect this in thousands or more different ways to come up with various angles. This is exactly what Upanishads do. Now the word perfect and complete got repeated so many times. So the question is, what is this complete? So Supreme Personality of Godhead is perfectly complete. All emanations from him, including these universes, but these material world universes, are also perfectly complete. And Supreme Personality of Godhead still stays complete even though so many material universes are emanating from the Supreme. This is Achinta Bhed Abhed Tattva. Means simultaneous oneness and difference. So if you try to understand this mathematically, 1 minus 1 still is 1. Infinity minus infinity is still infinity. Meaning the absolute truth, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, continues to remain complete even though so many units, means so many universes are emanating from him which are complete in themselves. So the next point is that this phenomenal material world is complete in itself. So I have two questions for you all. Everybody please try to participate. So we read in Sri Iso Upanishad, it says that this material world is perfect and complete. My question to all of you is, do you all agree with this point? That material world is complete? I mean, don't you see suffering, death, fighting all around? Everybody, please answer. Do you all agree with this point that material world is complete?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Prabhuji, again, one of your simple questions, but it makes you think a lot.
All right. Rest of you, do you think material world is complete? Only 3
Yes,
devotees are.
Prabhuji.
Okay.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Rest of you? I'm surprised so many saying yes. Don't you see all the suffering, death and fighting? How can you say material world is complete? Subhash Prabhu?
Yeah, Prabhuji. I don't feel like complete though.
All right. Rest of you have not answered. It's a yes or no. You either agree or you disagree. Sumnima wanted
No,
to add
Prabhuji.
something. Kamna, repeat. What did you say?
Not, I think not complete.
Okay. Sumnima, you had to say something.
No, Prabhuji.
All right.
You'll answer that, so.
Okay. There are a few of you who have still not answered. Tara, Matan, Ritu.
No, it's not complete.
Okay.
Prabhuji, don't feel it's complete, but I don't have a valid answer.
All right. Very good.
I feel the same as Ritu Mataji.
All right. Annapurni.
The reason why I felt it is complete is it is completely justified because we are rebellious, ignorant souls. And this is the perfect platform to bring sense to us so that we can go back to Krishna.
All right. So here's my second question. Many of you answered that material world is complete. Well, if material world is complete, why do I feel incompleteness? Don't you all feel incompleteness? Everybody, please answer. Do you all feel
Yeah,
incomplete?
because we don't connect with the complete problem. Like we try to like see what we don't have and try to achieve that. So
Yeah,
always
so you are feeling incomplete. So how can you answer that material world is complete?
I mean, the world is
Prabhuji, due
complete.
to the
Kunal Prabhu, finish.
The world is complete, but we feel incomplete because we try to associate with incomplete things like material things.
Okay, very good. Ritu?
because we are feeling is incomplete, that's why we are coming to Bhagavad Gita class, I think so.
Yeah, that is the Bhagavad Gita class is spiritual, but in the material world, don't you feel incompleteness?
Prabhuji, we are leaving this material world and taking out the time and still coming for the classes because we are feeling incompleteness. We are not satisfied.
Yeah, very good. Rest of you. Second question, like many of you, majority of you said material world is complete. Well, do you not feel incompleteness?
Prabhuji, I do feel incompleteness, but I think if maybe after doing lots of devotional service, maybe then I realize, after certain number of lives, maybe then I'll not feel incompleteness because I'll see God, the closeness or something like that.
So
Maybe.
Sumnima, isn't your both answers contradictory? That question number one, you said that material world is complete, but then you are saying, I am feeling incompleteness. Well, if material world was complete, perfectly complete, then why are you feeling incompleteness? Sumtima's response is perfect. Matan?
Because we have 4 defects, so we are not complete.
All right. But we just read, so I'm trying to be devil's advocate. We just read from Ishopanishad that material world is perfect and complete. You like the Upanishads already?
Oh, probably just one more thing. Maybe in the next verse it is said that if we accept whatever we have, then we will be feeling complete.
All right. Hold your thought on the next mantra also. But yeah, we were on the right track. Rest of you who did answer, do you like my devil's advocate approach? Do you all understand what I said at the start that Upanishads are puzzling? Do you already realize just from the very first invocation mantra?
Yes, Prabhuji, don't give endeavor homework on this. I don't think I'll be able to complete it.
All right. Okay. Rest of you, do you feel incomplete?
Yes, Swami.
So how was your answer that material world is complete? So let me answer. Thank you all for participating. So understand that I am going very slow because Upanishads are very puzzling and Ritu is back to the point that don't give endeavor, open-ended endeavor, because this is going to be challenge and I am not going to give you any open-ended endeavors. The endeavor after every class will be just to put striking points and inquiries. But I'm not going to give you any open-ended questions for Sri Upanishad because it is very confusing. And I'm explaining it to you all in a very simplified manner. Otherwise, Sri Upanishad is very challenging. So to understand this completeness, we have to evaluate the design with the purpose to judge how the world is perfectly designed. So those who are theists, they say there is so much right in the world that there must be someone behind this plan, meaning that God is behind the plan. Therefore, they are theists. And then atheists say that there is so much wrong in this world. So if I say that the world is for my enjoyment, then I will say that this world is imperfectly designed. So then you have to understand that what is the purpose of this world that makes it perfect. So the answer is that scriptures have explained that this world is like a prison and a hospital. In a jail, there is both things, arrangement for food as well as arrangement for suffering and punishment. So a jail is designed to punish. So just because there is suffering in a jail, it does not mean the design or the designer is bad. No, that's the purpose of the design, that it is meant to punish. Therefore, jail is perfect. Similarly, there is a hospital. In a hospital, there is arrangement for both taking care as well as suffering. So just because there is suffering in the hospital does not mean the design or the designer is bad. No, hospitals are designed and meant to cure. So material world is a prison for souls who have rebelled against Krishna and they want to enjoy separately from Krishna, as well as material world is also a hospital to rectify the souls who want to be rectified. Therefore, if we see the design with the purpose, then we will realize how the material world is perfect. The material world is complete because it fulfills its purpose of punishment of the souls as well as of curing the souls, those who want to go back home to Godhead. Material world is not perfect for material enjoyment. Rather, material world is perfect for reformation to go back home to Godhead. So I have given this example earlier and I'll repeat. Say I give you a cell phone and I ask you to type a whole encyclopedia of something. Can you do it? What will be your response? Everybody, quickly.
It will be difficult, Prabhuji.
All right. Why difficult? You have a keyboard, you have a screen. Why is it difficult?
Because
It
it
will
was not
Sumnima, complete.
because it was not meant for that.
All right. Very good. Aritu.
Yeah, it will take too much time.
So you have to understand that cell phone is not designed to write long things. Yes, there's a keyboard that you just type briefly. But cell phone is not designed like a computer is there for you to write long documents. For writing long documents like an encyclopedia, computer is the right equipment. So you have to understand material world similarly according to the design. So you cannot say just because it will take a very long time to write an encyclopedia on a cell phone, you cannot say the cell phone is wrong or the design of the cell phone is incorrect. No, cell phone is not designed for that. You are trying to use a cell phone for what it is not designed for. And you are calling cell phone as imperfect. No, we are trying to use a cell phone for what it is not designed for. Similarly, if I say material world is for my sense enjoyment, well, it is not designed for sense enjoyment. And therefore, I feel material world is incomplete. But when you understand that material world is designed as a jail for my punishment and as a hospital for my reformation, then you will understand that material world is perfect and complete. Everybody with me? Everybody liked the initial conversation about the puzzling Upanishads? Sumnima?
Yes, Prabhuji. I think I also realized a lot of people they ask or just say that why would God do something so ruthless? When they start saying things like that, if they observe it from that it's a prison and we're trying to purify ourselves, I think they would not have that perception.
Yeah, very good. Absolutely correct understanding. Very good. Rest of you, questions, comments, realizations? All right. So my second part of the question was that why do I feel incomplete? So Kunal Prabhu already was on the right track. And the answer is that why I feel incomplete is because I want to enjoy separate from Krishna. I want to exploit material nature. And the result of this is repeated birth and death in the material world. Therefore, I feel incomplete. And then Srila Prabhupada talks about that how human form of life offers complete facility for realizing the completeness. Only in human form one can perceive spirituality, because in human form the consciousness is developed enough that we can perceive higher spiritual reality beyond eating, mating, sleeping, and defending. So the solution that, okay, I am feeling incomplete, so we need a solution. So in my incomplete condition, I can seek completeness or attempt to seek completeness in two ways. One is materially and second is spiritually. So materially, in the material world, sense gratification promises completeness, but this is illusion. So two incomplete beings cannot make each other complete. So just as in the material world, the most common thing is that when a child is little grown up and he's feeling this incompleteness, and the parents will say, oh, you are feeling incomplete? Now you get married and you will feel complete. Arey Baba, two incomplete beings cannot make each other incomplete. So the solution of trying to find completeness material way, well, that is faulty. And the second way to find completeness from my incomplete condition is the spirituality way, that devotional service makes us complete by connecting us perfectly with the complete whole. So don't get me wrong that I'm not saying, or scriptures are not saying that don't get married. That's not what scriptures are saying. Scriptures are just pointing out that don't think that your material solution that you get married and you will feel complete. No, that is not going to happen. So yes, get married and together with the spouse and your family, follow spirituality to attain completeness by connecting with the complete whole. Then you will find satisfaction and completeness in the material world. That is the puzzling invocation mantra of Sri Isopanishad. Questions, comments, realizations?
This point is very nice, that like which you mentioned, that sense gratification, it promises completeness. That is why people are running behind it, but it's illusion.
Yeah, very good. Rest of you?
Thank you, Prabhuji, for making this clear. I
Okay.
never think in that way. Now I'm clear, I think. Thank you.
All right, rest of you? So now that we have little understanding that what is the purpose of material world, and to understand that how it is complete, would you all like to read the invocation mantra translation again with this understanding?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Ritu, read invocation mantra translation with this understanding that how what is this perfect and complete referring to?
Hare Krishna, the personality of Godhead is perfect and complete. And because he is completely perfect, all emanations from him, such as this phenomenal world, are perfectly equipped as a complete whole. Whatever is produced of the complete whole is also complete by itself. And because he is the complete whole, even though so many complete units emanate from him, he remains the complete balance. Hare Krishna.
Questions, comments, realizations? All right. So let's discuss mantra number 1. So on your chart, you can write mantra number 1 as Ishavasya principle. The word Ishavasya is directly in the Sanskrit of mantra number 1. So mantra number 1 is obviously a key memorization verse. And this Sri Upanishad is also known as Ishavasya Upanishad. You will soon realize this. So I will recite mantra number 1, and then you all can unmute and recite one line after me, please. Mantra number 1. Ishavashyam idam sarvam yat kincha jagatyam jagat tena tyaktena bunjita magrat kasya swidhanam. Everybody unmute and recite one line after me, please. Ishavashyam idam sarvam
Ishavasyam idam sarvam
yat kincha jagatyam jagat
Yat
jagatyam jagat
tena tyaktena bunjita
tena yaktena bhujita
magrada kasya swidhanam.
magradasya svidhanam.
Raksha, translation.
Everything animate or inanimate that is within the universe is controlled and owned by the Lord. One should therefore accept only those things necessary for himself, which are set aside as his quota, and one should not accept other things, knowing well to whom they belong. Hare Krishna.
So this mantra number 1, populate on your overview chart as Ishavasya principle. So Ishavasya means everything belongs to Ishvara. So Lord is proprietor of everything. And in Bhagavad Gita, it says that material energy and the living entities come from Krishna. So my ownership of whatever I own in the material world is transitory. As long as I live, or until the item is destroyed somehow, until that time I have the item, I own the item. Therefore, my proprietorship is illusory because I have limited and partial control. An example is, I don't even own my own body. I am just a tenant in this body. I can be evicted from this body anytime without my even knowing, without my control. Therefore, one should be satisfied with the quota that is set aside for every one of us. Humans should eat according to their quota. The food quota for humans is vegetarian items, not killing animals for food. Now, this point about killing animals versus eating fruits and vegetables, well, when we eat fruits and vegetables, we know that plants also have soul, so they also have life. So are we not killing anyway by eating fruits and vegetables? So what's the difference between those who kill animals for eating versus, say, we all eating fruits and vegetables means we are killing trees? So what's really the difference? Because there's a soul in animal body and there's a soul in plants also. The answer is that trees, plants have less developed nervous system compared to animals, and animals feel lot more pain when they are killed compared to when, say, you cut a branch or you pluck a fruit from the tree, because the tree's nervous system is not that developed. And further, this is the system created, that the food for humans is vegetarian items like fruits and grains, etc. So fruits, they dry out if you are not using them. So they are meant for human consumption. Versus animals, if they are killed prematurely for eating or monetary gain from the flesh, well, the animals suffer a lot, and the animal will have to come back in that same animal body to exhaust his rest of the karma. So in the animal form of life, when animal kills another animal for food, the animals do not incur sin for killing another animal for food, because animals are strictly following the laws of nature. That is how the nature is designed. The humans have intelligence, higher consciousness. Human can recognize the authority of Supreme Personality of Godhead. They can recognize the soul. They can recognize the suffering. So visualize this, that actually people know this subconsciously, but they turn off their eyes in their desire to fulfill their tongue's taste. So say tomorrow a child brings a notice from the school, that the school says that tomorrow we are going to take all children to a slaughterhouse for off-site trip. What will be reaction, all of you, if you as a parent or elder get this note that the child brings home, that tomorrow the school is going to take us to a slaughterhouse? What will be your reaction?
Let them go.
Kunal Prabhu, repeat.
And I will let them go
To a
just to
slaughterhouse?
see.
To a slaughterhouse? All
Yeah,
right.
just to see.
All right, rest of you?
Well, I will not want them to see that massacre kind of situation.
Okay, well, exactly. All right. Ritu also says we'll feel bad. Rest of you, what will be your reaction? Anupurni?
I feel we are all in a slaughterhouse, Prabhuji. Everybody has to die ultimately and doesn't know when it's going to come.
Yeah, that is true. But tomorrow a child is being sent to a slaughterhouse. What will be your reaction?
I'll not send them there.
All right. Rest of you who didn't answer? All right. So silence speaks for itself. So here's the second part of the question. Tomorrow, a child brings a note from the school that the school is tomorrow going to take all students to a farmhouse to harvest fruits, or flowers, vegetables, whatever. Or just go to a farmhouse. What will be your reaction?
Yeah, again, I would let them go.
Happy to send them.
I'd say go for it.
Yeah, everybody was jumping with this answer. Happy to go for it. Let them go. Right? In the previous one, everybody was like, hey, I want to stay silent. Why? Because we consciously or subconsciously already know that slaughterhouse is not an appropriate place. But people are still consuming meat when they don't want their children to go to a slaughterhouse. And therefore, Srila Prabhupada has said that if you want people in the material world to stop eating meat, then let them kill the animal by themselves, the animal that they want to eat, because they will see the suffering of the animal and it will not be possible for them to eat the meat then. Right now, nobody sees the suffering that in the crematorium when the animal is being slaughtered, they are crying and all those loud noises and blood is flowing and whatnot. Well, this is not a greatest of scene. Therefore, majority of people will not like to send their children to a crematorium or to a slaughterhouse. But harvesting to a farm, plucking flowers and fruits, you have butterflies flying, birds chirping. But that is wonderful. That's a mood of celebration. Even though we know that just as animal have souls, we know that a plant also have soul. But still, going to a farmhouse is like a mood of celebration. So this is what Prabhupada explains in this mantra about the quota, that we should live according to our quota. Whether it be eating, whether it be earning money or whatever, we have to live according to our quota. Questions, comments, realizations?
Prabhuji, I just want to share something. So I have this friend, she eats beef and pork. She used to eat pork, and she once told me that she stopped eating it because she saw this video from the slaughterhouse, and she's like, she couldn't eat it again. So I'm like, then why? I'm sure cows go through the same thing. But she's like, yes, I haven't seen it, and I deliberately avoid watching that so she can continue eating.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly that. People know it, but they are turning a blind eye just so that they can continue their tongue's taste. But this is not correct, right? Yes, whatever has been happened in the past, because of our ignorance, we might have done something wrong. That does not mean we have to continue doing it wrong. Very good, Rara. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, Kunal Prabhu.
Yeah, probably similar. Like even I was a vegetarian, but I saw a chicken being cut from the throat and then it was kind of faffing around. So I think that made my faith more stronger into vegetarianism. So
Very
I
good.
mean, it is good to see and realize for yourself in a
Yeah,
slaughterhouse.
yeah, very good. And this is exactly the point Prabhupada has made. Prabhupada said that whosoever wants to eat meat, let them cut and kill the animal by themselves rather than running a slaughterhouse meat industry where people don't see. They just see the meat that they can just cook and eat, and they don't see all the suffering and the killing of the animal. So yeah, Prabhupada said that if you want to stop people from eating meat, let them kill the animal by themselves. And they will not eat exactly what Dhara is describing and exactly what Kunal Prabhu is describing. Yeah, it's impossible to see others suffer like this. Questions, comments, realizations. Now, although there is about 30 minutes time left in our today's discussion, I am not going to cover more mantras today because the Sri Upanishad book that you will read, so the standard homework or standard spiritual endeavor for after his class is to read all the purports that we have covered without me stating. So you will need a significant amount of time to read the introduction, invocation, and mantra number 1 purports, and you are bound to get overwhelmed. Therefore, I'm not going to cover more mantras today. What I will do is the standard spiritual endeavor is that you read everything that we covered in the class. So today is read introduction, invocation, and mantra number 1, translation, purports, everything. And then on the Google form, you will populate one or more striking points from our discussion in the class as well as from what you read. And you will ask one or more questions. And understand that Sri Upanishad is very, very deep. You will need a lot more time to read this look seemingly tiny book. It's a very heavy philosophy. Each statement is very heavy philosophically statement. So don't allocate 15 minutes before next class to read. No, you start reading right now. You already have 30 some minutes left over from our today's discussion. As well as for today, I'm going to send you Srila Prabhupada lecture from Srimad Bhagavatam from Canto 5, Chapter 5, verse number 20. And the title of the lecture is Whole Planet Belongs to Krishna. So it's very much similar to what we discussed in the invocation and Ishavasha principle. So it's a relevant lecture for that topic. The verse is different. And for the next 3 classes of Sri Upanishad, I will give you Nectar of Devotion leftover lectures. Srila Prabhupada does have lectures on Sri Upanishad, but they will be very difficult to comprehend. So we will skip Sri Upanishad lectures of Srila Prabhupada, but we will finish remainder of Nectar of Devotion lectures. I mean, Nectar of Devotion, I could only give you so much, even though I gave you roughly 2 lectures every class, but they were really spectacular lectures. Now, Annapurni is going to have challenge for the remainder of the 3 class Srila Prabhupada lecture on Nectar of Devotion, because each of Srila Prabhupada's Nectar of Devotion lectures, it starts with some verse, is ends with some verse, and is littered with verses after verses after verses, and they are very heavy because Annapurni has not yet covered nectar of devotion. So you can listen, but you are bound to be like, I don't know what he's talking about. That's okay. Or you can consider to get caught up on your remainder catching up that you have to do. Questions, comments, realizations, everybody crystal clear on what spiritual endeavor they have to do? Somebody wants to repeat spiritual endeavor? All points? Somebody please repeat.
I can try, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
So read the introduction, invocation, and the purport of mantra 1. Populate striking points, one or more striking points, and one or more question from today's lecture and what we read.
Yeah, you populate on a Google form, yeah.
On the Google form.
And
listen to Srila Prabhupada's Nectar of Devotion lectures.
yeah, today is Srimad Bhagavatam lecture. For next 3 classes is Nectar of Devotion lecture.
Yes.
All right. Everybody on the same page?
Yes, Prabhuji.
All right. You can use the time to ask questions or let me know if you can stop here.
Prabhuji, I have one question.
Yeah.
For the Nectar of Devotion, we stopped in, I think, chapter 20. We can continue from that by ourselves.
Yeah, you can. So we stopped at 19 and you can continue reading rest of it.
Okay, Prabhuji.
All right. So I will also answer the inquiry submitted by devotees from the previous Nectar of Devotion class. But anybody else has any questions? Yeah, so Subhas Prabhu, you can always read rest of Nectar of Devotion, but first focus on what you have to get caught up on.
Okay, Prabhuji.
All right, let me answer inquiries from the previous Nectar of Devotion class. Question number 1. How can a devotee in Prema Bhakti engaged in Krishna consciousness 24 hours function in the material world? So a sannyasi pure devotee like our dear Srila Prabhupada will be doing only Krishna's service 24 hours, such as preaching, building temples, various other services. And Krishna will ensure that such a pure devotee has all the required needs met. Then there are Grahastha pure devotees, such as Grahastha spiritual masters. Example, my spiritual master, His Grace Vaisheshika Das Adhikari, or you have His Grace Sankarshan Das Adhikari. They are Grahastha spiritual master. There are many. I'm just quoting 1 or 2. So such Grahastha pure devotees will also be only engaged in Krishna's service 24 hours, and Krishna ensures they have the required needs met. Well, both these responses don't really help at our level. Therefore, then there are devotees who are not spiritual masters, either pure devotees or devotees who are on the path of becoming pure devotee, They will work in the material world for their bodily needs while dovetailing their day-to-day activities into Krishna consciousness. Hence, it is still 24 hours engaged in Krishna consciousness. An example, our Siksha Guru, His Grace Bhakti Yoga Prabhu, many of you have met him at the Toronto temple. His Grace Bhakti Yoga Prabhu is a Grahastha. He is working in the material world as an accountant like me. But he has dovetailed his entire life in Krishna's service. Therefore, he is not attached to anything in the material world. So His Grace Bhakti Yoga Prabhu is also Pujari at the Toronto temple, as well as he has set up Scarborough temple from scratch, and most recently he has set up the Milton temple from scratch. So yes, they would work in the material world without being attached, and simultaneously they will dovetail and focus on Krishna's service most of the time. Does that answer the question?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Question number 2. It is said Krishna does not care about Vaidhi sadhana bhakti. So does that mean Krishna only accepts the highest and purest level of devotion only? The answer is, it is not that Krishna does not care for Vaidhi sadhana bhakti. Rather, Krishna is more attracted by spontaneous devotional service of pure devotees. Krishna still accepts Vaidhi sadhana bhakti. He has never said that he does not care. He says that he is more attracted by the spontaneous devotional service of pure devotees. Does that answer?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Last question for today. Nectar of Devotion says we have to deal with advanced devotees. But devotees in ISKCON say they are not even at the level of Vaidhi sadhana bhakti. They always consider themselves at lower level. So in this case, how to know the devotees to get associated with them? So we discussed in Nectar of Devotion that this is the nature of a pure devotee, that the pure devotee will externally behave like a neophyte, but internally he is in constant remembrance of Krishna. So we have to judge the level of devotees based on the characteristics of Kanishta Adhikari, Madhyam Adhikari, and Uttam Adhikari, and reciprocate accordingly. Kanishta Adhikari, he worships Gopinath at the temple, but he does not value devotee association. He will generally have fights with others. But because the Kanishta Adhikari is still chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we respect such a devotee in our mind. Then Madhyam Adhikari has 4 characteristics: that he knows Krishna as the object of my worship, he makes friends with devotees, he showers mercy on innocent, and he avoids atheist. So we offer obeisances to Madhyam Adhikari. And then Uttam Adhikari are generally spiritual masters. They are pure devotees also. And they are constantly engaged 24 hours in Krishna's service. Such Uttam Adhikaris, they do not criticize anyone, and they don't even have the inclination to criticize anyone. So we offer obeisances to such Uttam Adhikaris and we serve such Uttam Adhikaris. And in general, everyone is a devotee except me. Therefore, I should serve devotees. Does that answer the inquiry?
Prabhuji, I just got a question based on this. So you mentioned that most devotees purer the devotee, they tend to act innocent, or I mean, not act innocent, but act like neophyte. So I realized that I just feel like no matter how much I do, I might not get much advanced in this life, or I still have way long, and then the motivation sometimes tends to flicker because the path is really long. How, what to do about this?
Mhm. This is actually elevation. That when you feel that I have a lot more to achieve, I actually have a video for this. Let me see if I can find it. So this actually is a very good sign that when you feel that I have a lot more to achieve is when you are realizing that there is a lot more to achieve. And if you say, oh, I know everything, well, that is not a humble position. So let me play a video here. It's talking about humility of an advanced devotee. So obviously this is humility of Sumnima.
Why does the...
Let me play this video. I'll bring up on screen and you can judge the answer for yourself.
Why does the advanced devotee think himself very neophyte? Well, it's something like, even in the sphere of mundane learning, a really very highly learned person understands how little he understands. When you know a little about a subject, whatever it may be, you tend to think, oh, I know so much, because you know more than the average person. But then when you go on and on and on, and you start to see how vast the topic is, you realize, even though you may be the world expert in that topic, but you realize how much more there is to understand, and you realize you don't really know very much at all. So the most advanced devotee has some insight into how the glories of Krishna are so magnificent, infinite, and even though compared to other people, it might be seen that I know so much, but I know so little in comparison to the full extent of his glories.
Sumnima, does that answer?
Yes, Prabhuji, but I still have this question is, sometimes I just feel like the motivation flickering. For example, let's say Ekadashi, doing that extra round, it just feels like, I still have long way to go, then maybe I could do it on the next Ekadashi or something. So I feel like that is affected somewhere.
Yeah, so we have discussed this, that in Nectar of Devotion, that initially we will keep fluctuating between I want this and I don't want this. And the initial fluctuation, like a pendulum, the length the pendulum is oscillating is very wide, and the speed of the oscillation of the pendulum is also very fast. And as you continue to get purified and as you continue to elevate, the distance the pendulum oscillates becomes little less, and the speed also becomes little less. So it's a progression. It's a matter of getting purified more and more. Now, I'll play another lecture that Sumnima is saying that I seem to not have this taste, or the taste is flickering. Why then are you coming to the classes every week? Because you have taste is why you are coming to the class. Yes, you are desiring more taste, which is very good. But right now, your taste is little less. Whether it be chanting, whether it be doing devotional services, whatever it be. But you still have taste. It's just as little less, and you are in the process of developing that taste more and more. And therefore, you are able to come to the classes week after week after week after week after week. If you saying, I don't have taste, well, you will not be coming to the class at all. So let's hear this another lecture.
The pleasure is coming. Is it not coming? Yes, you can say not yet. But it is not yet. It is already there. It's too small. That is why you don't feel it. Because it's small. This is small. If it is not there, you cannot continue doing it. What is the motivation to do something? It's the result of what you're doing. It's not? So little, very tiny is there. But because you need one jug of water, but I still getting 1 spoon. That is the problem. So continue to take one spoon. If you take 1 spoon, 1 spoon, 1 spoon, one day to become a jug full of water. That's Christian consciousness. Let us continue to drink. Don't forget to drink. Keep drinking. Even if you think that nothing is there, no problem. Just continue to chant. You come.
Somnima. Somnima, did that answer?
Yes, Prabhuji, very helpful. Thank you.
So just continue, right? Yeah, your desire is correct, that you are wanting more taste. Just continue. We just heard from senior devotees. Just continue. And this will continue to develop more and more and more. Otherwise, you would not be coming at all. All right. Abhishek Prabhu.
Sorry. Actually, in this analogy of like animal tied with a rope and the length of rope is compared to the 3 modes, the different freedom they get. Like what is that which is restricted as per the in different modes?
So the length of rope is not referring to the 3 modes. It's referring to based on your past inclinations and based on your past association with the modes is how your free will is determined. So if you have been wild in the example that I have given about the horse, that if it's a wild horse means the horse in his previous life has associated with the mode of ignorance more and more. Therefore, the horse is wild. Therefore, his free will is limited to a shorter length of rope. The modes are always there, all 3. And if somebody has associated with mode of goodness more and more in the past, then his free will is with a little longer length of rope because he is gentle and is allowed more freeway. But even for the horse with a longer length of rope, the 3 modes are still interacting as they were for anybody else. What the modes do is they just present the circumstance in front of us. The modes don't take decision on behalf of us. We still have to take the decision using our free will. So the horse which has a longer length of rope, his inclination is to use his free will, which is more inducive towards the mode of goodness. Therefore, he is gentle in general. All 3 modes are still acting on him, but he is choosing to act according to mode of goodness and not be like the wild horse. Abhishek Prabhu?
So, what is this, like, what restriction comes for those who have lesser free will?
The
Like, what
restriction
does
is, the options. The options that come in front of you, they are restricted. So, for example, if the gentle horse tied to a longer rope, he may have 10 options to choose from. Whatever be the mix, the 10 options can have the mix of goodness, passion, ignorance, versus the wild horse who is tied to a shorter rope. He may only have 3 options to choose from, or even less. So it's the number of choices that come in front of us.
Thank you, Raj.
All right. So striking points from earlier class. So you have 3 slides. So slide number 1, take a snapshot. Slide number 2. And this is slide number 3. So you will do the same for Sri Iso class, that you will populate striking points from our discussion as well as from your readings of Sri Iso, as well as you will make inquiries. Ritu, you happy?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
All right. Are we now okay to stop here?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Krishna, everybody.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, and Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Very valuable lessons.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.